Hi, and welcome to part 9 of the Enhanced E-commerce series, where we'll both look at what is enhanced e-commerce and how to implement it. In this part 9, we will look at the checkout flow. And there's a lot of things enhanced e-commerce do towards the checkout flow, and it's really worth looking into. Just a word of warning, of all the videos, this is probably the most advanced one, and also the one where it's most important you do it correctly, because this is going to modify a little bit with the existing code you have with e-commerce tracking. And in addition, the checkout flow is just so vital it has to be done correctly. But with that warning in place, let's jump right into it. First, it's a question of why. Well, we can do multiple things here, and the first one is basically tracking the steps. You can do that already, but the thing is, what we can do is track more things. We can actually track quite advanced levels of steps. We can track decisions such as payment methods, shipping methods, the products throughout the checkout. So let's just say that I have a range of products on the address page. Do the user have changed this when they go to the completed page? So you can actually see the funnel not just from how many percent of people go from A to Z, but also the content of the basket and everything on that. So you can also track coupons, like promotions. You can ask, as I said, options. You actually have a way of even tracking custom things. So just say that you have something that's interesting, which is not payment methods and shipping methods. I don't know. It could be anything in your web shop. You can actually track it using the options call. So there's this guide here. We're gonna look at it, and let's jump right into it. So looking at Google's documentation, they have done this in three kind of sub guides. They have the first, how to measure steps. They have measuring checkout options, and then checkout funnel configuration. And since they have done it, I'm gonna do the same. It's just gonna be easier. So what we're gonna do here is look at first the checkout steps, and it's not only the steps, because the steps you could do that already inside Google Analytics today without enhanced e-commerce, but it just gives some interesting things here. You can see in the data layer, you just call e-commerce, you have checkout, and you have the action field, which is the data. You have this step here, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on what your different steps are. And then you have some option, like you can set the option if you want. It could be shipping methods, it could be payment methods, and you can set here, this is the option they set. So if it's the payment page, well, you can set option as a Visa, and you can set different kind of options, which is pretty interesting. And here you can simply list every product you have here. So in this case, I have this Triple N Android t-shirt on it, and I can just list every product here on it. So this is the the code here for the checkout. And what this is a call that is the right here for a click on a checkout button, and this happens on a click, and that's how you do it in the data layer, where you shouldn't just push all these data here on the checkout if you're on a specific step. And of course, if you are on step 2, you have to update it, so you have to send the correct step. And this code you will fire in every single step of your checkout flow, and that's how you'll do it. For the actual configuration in Google Tag Manager, I'll just open here. Just try to just use an existing one. Call it whatever. This could be tracking checkout. Tag type in user analytics. The macro here, as explained in video 4, is just your normal tracking ID. Tracking type is event, as they read right in here. Event category is e-commerce. Action is checkout. So it's like this. You have to set document path, URL path, enable enhanced e-commerce features, use data layer, and the firing rules has to just modify this one here. The firing rule has to be checkout, so you have to modify this one here to be checkout. I'd say add a new rule, not use an existing one, and you'll be good to go. So by doing this, you'll actually have done the checkout steps, but this is a little bit difficult because you have to do it on every single step and make sure that you actually use the data correctly at each step and so forth. Then there's the options here, where it's basically a way to, when you change the checkout, let's just say you change your payment method or shipping, you can use the options here to actually modify it. And what you do is simply just make a call here using JavaScript. You put data there, and you describe, well, which steps are we doing this on, and what option did I modify. So that's how to do it. The tag manager is exactly the same as previously. The only difference is the action is called this instead. This is where you go here. This is the action. And the rule here should be checkout option, and this is what we did up here in this firing role. So that's actually pretty doable. And then there is the last one, which is the funnel, where this is where you go into you actually Google Analytics, and you go into admin, you go into views, and you set the e-commerce settings. I'm pretty sure that if you go back to, I think it's part 3 of the video series here, you can also just go to the guide on java.com here, on Java resources, there's a picture to it. You can see where you can modify this. And you can actually do the labels up here, so you can just label it. If you don't do it, the steps will just be, named incremental numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want labels here, you can just set it. So that's how you do the actual enhanced e-commerce features in the checkout. It's worth mentioning that you want to use the data layer and Google Tag Manager for measuring purchases. This plays along very well in Universal Analytics and enhanced e-commerce in general. So that's definitely my recommendation. And this is what you fire on the completed page when you've made a purchase. So you just fire the purchase. You have the action field here, which is everything about the transaction. The ID of the transaction, which is the unique ID and the revenue and everything here. And you can also fire coupons as explained in one of the previous videos. And here you can actually list every single product that the user bought, how much did it cost, the ID, what's the coupon used in this product, and so forth. And the tag manager for this is really simple. It's actually just a page view like everything else we've been doing so far. And if you want to see this in depth, go to part 4 where we actually cover this for the first time, how to do a page view in enhanced e-commerce. This is really actually kind of simple. And this is something you push on the completed page. So with that in mind, you have now seen how to do the enhanced e-commerce using the checkout flow. And if you need help, just contact us. We can really help. If not, I hope that you will get to figure it out and get all this data about your customers in checkout flow. Thank you for listening on this part 9.